안녕하세요, 준브로입니다. 드디어 테일즈 오브 어라이즈 마지막 이야기입니다. 다른 설명이 필요 없을 것 같습니다. 마지막 이야기 재밌게 시청해주시면 감사하겠습니다.
It would appear that our Helganquil host really has fulfilled its end of the bargain.
You know what that means. Time to go to Rena.
I guess this means we should give that warp drive a spin.
There's nothing here. This weird ocean we're surrounded by just stretches out everywhere. Is this really where the Helganquil come from?
I don't sense even a trace of astral energy. This world is dead.
Then this must be the hollowing.
You mean to tell me this whole world, the entire ocean is that stuff?
And it's covering everything. The entire planet.
This is what the Great Spirit does. After it depleted this planet of every last speck of astral energy, it went after Dana.
So arresting. This world of doom.
Back in its day, Rena was probably just as vibrant as Dana is. But after being robbed of its astral energy for so long, those days are gone and past. This is all that will remain.
So the Great Spirit took everything. It stole energy not just from living beings, but the land, the sea, everything.
And it bound the Helganquil in servitude until their whole world was nothing but this. And by the looks of it, that's how it remains to this day. A world of death and emptiness.
With nothing left here to consume, the Great Spirit turned its sights on Dana, looking for another host.
You're saying if we don't stop it, this is what Dana's going to look like?
We can be sure that even these few remaining remnants of Renan life will not be spared in the end.
If the oblivion and darkness both Shion and Naori saw comes to pass, nothing will survive. It looks like we can climb down from there. Let's take a look.
A hollowed ocean as far as the eye can see. What do you think would happen if we fell in?
What do you mean, what would happen? You'd drown, wouldn't you?
Come to think of it, I don't believe I've heard of someone ever trying. Perhaps you'd like the glory of being the first?
Nah, I'll pass.
This is essentially a world-sized Renan graveyard. Are you proposing to disturb the dead slumber just to satisfy your curiosity, Law?
No, because I said I passed.
Taking an interest is understandable, but let's not forget where we are. This place deserves our respect.
Looks like we're not going to be hearing the end of this one for a while.
You'd think I was already snorkeling in it or something. So the idea is to seal the Great Spirit inside the Renaissance using the Sovereign and Maiden's power. But just how do we do that exactly?
I'm guessing it won't be as easy as holding a spirit channeling ceremony at our leisure.
I already had wielded astral energy once 3 centuries ago. As for suppressing her thorns, Shion's had a lifetime's experience. The problem isn't just our enemy's strength, it's that it's sentient too. And you can bet anything you like it's not going to just sit back and let us destroy it.
In other words, we need to find some way to weaken it in advance. The Great Spirit, that is.
Back when Shion's thorns flew out of control, we were able to deal with them directly. If this is their host, they should be even more corporeal here.
If that's the case, it should make them easier to attack at least. And if we can manage to divert enough energy away from the spirit's core, even temporarily,
We might just be able to weaken it enough to steal the Renis Alma, which we can then use to seal it away forever. It won't be easy, but it's our only shot. Time to buckle up. Question for you. Let's say, knock on wood, everything turns out for the best.
What'll the world be like? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this, do you really think everything will be that different?
A lot will have to change, that's for sure. The world will have to adjust to so much. My only worry is if those changes turn out to be merely skin deep.
what do you mean?
It's well and good putting an end to Renin rule. But if it just turns the tables, it's all for naught.
That's true. Just as bad if the Danans started pressing their own.
Renins, Danans, astral art users, mages. The world is full of labels used to divide and separate people.
If only we could see differences like that for what they are. No different to someone having a musical talent or being good with their hands. Not differences so much as characteristics.
It will take someone in power to set an example. But with time, people will follow. And then, perhaps one day,
There will no longer be any need for the example. It will have become second nature.
That's where we come in. We can set the example. Imagine it. A world where magic and astral arts are used to help people. Where that's the norm rather than the exception.
Yeah, you're right, Rinwell. Why wait for somebody else? We can show them ourselves. Helganquil!
Guess they don't need their Red Woman disguises anymore.
Wait, can you understand us?
It's no use. We're not going to get through to them.
So they really are being controlled. In that case, we've got no choice.
I knew there was something off here!
they're not pulling punches. We have no choice but to beat them at their own game.
Hey, go ahead!
Can you take it?
You made me angry. That was a bad idea.
Rending you apart!
Another incantation ruined.
I'll take you all on. Ha! Flare the Molotov!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Take it! Go! Art expert, coming through!
Sword Rain Alpha! Ignite!
Here, let me help you! Hurricane Flight!
Sword Rain
Sword
Rain Alpha! Here I come! Sword Rain Alpha!
Here, let me help! Not on my watch! First aid!
Rending you apart!
Sword Rain Alpha! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Alphen,
I can't forgive them for what they've done, but I hate killing them. They don't even know why they're fighting. How does that even make them any different from the Danan slaves?
Perhaps. However, if we don't make a choice, the guilt of not doing anything will be that much worse.
Yeah, I know. I hate for it to be like this. But if it happens again, you won't find me hesitating to act.
I thought there'd be more dirt and rocks and stuff underneath the hollowed ocean, but it's all artificial.
I would imagine they're remnants left behind by the Helganquil, seeing as there's little actual land remaining.
It's incredible. Do you think it stretches all the way down to the center of the planet?
Hey, these guys built Lenegis, remember? They probably did this in a weekend.
If they had the power to create things like this, did they really only use those immense capabilities to serve the Great Spirit? Or rather, was that the only use the Great Spirit let them use their capabilities for? We haven't seen anyone here except Helganquil. Looks like this place really is their home planet.
The true citizens of Rena. What a shame that they have become nothing more than puppets to the Great Spirit. To think of the promise their accomplishments once held. They had the potential to be great indeed.
Do you think we could have got along with them? You know, if we had met under different circumstances. Like
all of us, you mean? I suppose it's difficult to say for sure. We don't even know if they would see us as being on an equal level with them or not.
I think we may have had the chance once, before the Renan Great Spirit came along and changed everything.
You and Alphen both share an optimism. A strong willingness to believe in hope.
Do you think that's foolish?
On the contrary, I should like to take a leaf from your book myself. In Tragedy's Aftermath, hope is all we have.
Just look at the size of that thing. And Helganquil's technology certainly is impressive. And they don't seem to do things by halves either. In the past 300 years. No, even before that. Just how many people, Renan or Danon, do you think have ever seen this?
Regarding the past 3 centuries at least, I'd say there's a good chance that we're the first. Also, while I get that it's impressive and all, I'm just amazed you're still standing around gawping at it at a time like this. Sometimes I wonder about your priorities.
I can understand where he's coming from. More to the point, does anyone know where it leads?
What do you mean where it leads? To the center of the planet, of course.
And that doesn't strike you as sounding just a little bit, oh, I don't know, far? There has to be a quicker way to get there, right?
Yeah. With all this technology at their fingertips, it seems pretty unlikely that they'd make that kind of journey on foot. There must be some kind of device somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out how to use it.
Borrow one of their contraptions? You're either brave or out of your mind.
If it works for them, there's no reason it wouldn't for us. Why make things harder for ourselves?
You know what he's like, Law. Once he gets an idea in his head, there's no talking him out of it.
I wonder how the Renans avoided being mind-controlled like the Helganquil. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that they were originally Danons?
I'd say it's likely. Which is pretty ironic when you think about it.
Ironic?
The Renans have committed grave injustices against the Danons. But it was all of their own volition, not because they were being controlled. Now, it turns out they themselves were once Danons too.
Which must mean that the root of their evil isn't the Great Spirit, but something inherent in all of us. Our free will.
Now hang on, though. It was that same free will that allowed Shion and Dohalim to choose to fight alongside us. Without it, we wouldn't have been able to beat hatred and forge all those connections we've made. Free will is what saved us, right?
Law's entirely right. In any case, it certainly can't hurt to look on the bright side every now and then.
Yeah. Where there's hope, there's a way.
What'd he say?
He said, without a doubt. What do you think this place was for? Ah!
What the hell? Are they asleep?
No. They appear to be well preserved. However, they are all dead.
Dead? So this is a mass grave?
Looks that way. However, none of them appear to be Helganquil.
Bear in mind that Renans were originally Danons, who were remade and sent to live on Lenegis. Knowing that, they would have needed a place to perform the procedures somewhere.
And that place is here, I assume.
So what you're saying is that all of these are Danon, or rather, Renin bodies?
Most likely, yes. It must have been abandoned for one reason or another.
There are so many of them. They were all taken away, but never given the chance to wake.
What is that thing?
Something we have to fight if we want to get across, it seems.
Be careful! It's huge!
What is with all the huge lumbering beasts lately?
It's no ordinary Zoogle. That much is damn sure.
Watch yourself. All bets are off when it comes to this thing. Stardust!
This one's mine!
You!
Hurricane Strike! Mega Ray!
Take this!
Unguard! To the fray!
One more!
Outstanding form!
Flame inside me yearns to be
I don't feel so hot.
You should sit this one out.
And miss all the fun. No way.
Piercing roar! Crescent Flash!
Its head is its weak point?
We'll need to bring it down somehow to hit it.
In that case, let's start with the one in the middle.
Here I come!
Execution!
Continue on.
Take this! I'll smash you! Bloody holiday! Take this!
Here! Hurricane Strike! I'm all going in! Annihilation!
I'll face you!
Going in.
Downfall!
Try harder!
Breath of life! Heal my wearied companion!
You picked the wrong fight!
Hurricane Strike!
Stardust!
Look sharp.
Radiant here!
Take
Hurricane
this!
healing arm! First aid!
Forward up.
Stardust! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone.
The hell was that thing?
Probably something that was made here and somehow managed to survive, even after all this time. Not that there's any way of knowing now.
What's wrong?
Oh, I just suddenly found myself contemplating what might have happened to the sovereigns that were meant to emerge from the crown contests.
What do you mean?
You see, the winners of the past crown contests were all strong astral arts practitioners. Furthermore, that enemy we just fought appeared to be composed of several human bodies. It was certainly nothing one would find in nature.
You're saying those were the remains of the winners? That they forgot who they once were?
I'm merely saying it's a possibility.
That's absolutely gruesome. How long had the Helganquil been at this?
It was Rena's great spirit that made them do all of this. Anything to get its astral energy.
So, looks like the Helganquil have been engineering Zoogles too. Why doesn't that surprise me at this point?
The creatures we've been encountering here have been a little different to what we're used to fighting, but I'm pretty sure they're Zoogles too.
Do you think they were engineered using creatures native to the area?
Indeed. However, based on the current circumstances, I would guess these Zoogles are all that's left of the planet's fauna now.
You mean, there might have been native owl species here once upon a time too?
What are those? They look like Shion's thorns, and with flowers too.
Not real ones though. They're just like that flower growing out of Rena.
We must be getting close to the Great Spirit now.
Hey, Rinwell, what was that thing you said about how a little bit of Dana's great spirit is inside all of us?
Right. That's why Dana's great spirit is so much more diluted. Weak even. Whether it was a choice so it didn't overpower others, or just the way it is anyone's guess.
If that's true, then wouldn't it mean Dana's will could never form under natural conditions?
Yeah, sounds like that's probably the case.
So if Dana exists within all of us, then what if something occurred that brought everyone's hearts and minds together as one? That unity could potentially act as Dana's will.
You mean if everybody was, like, thinking the exact same thing at the exact same time? Come on, there's no way we could pull that off.
I know it's a long shot, but it might work.
Let's assume that's even possible for a second. Would it even be enough to fight back against Rena's great spirit?
If nothing else, it might be an option if we can't use the Rena's Alma.
So here's a question. We came all this way to Rena on the assumption the Rena's Alma's here, right?
Just don't say it, Law.
Yeah, but I'm just saying...
I said don't.
I can understand why you might be concerned, Law. But you need to remember that there are people it affects more directly than you.
Oh, sorry.
We've managed to make it this far believing. Losing faith now won't do us any good. We're better off focusing our anxiety elsewhere.
Such as?
The Great Spirit. If Hevrecht 35's to be believed, our enemy won't just be handing over the Rena's Alma to us. At least, not without a fight.
Not only that, but that same enemy just gulped down more than an entire world's worth of astral energy.
Point taken. It may be strange to say, but when I'm fighting, or at least know what needs to be done, it helps me a lot. I don't doubt myself as much. So thanks, both of you.
The astral energy here is so dense. It's like trying to walk through water.
I know the Great Spirit's will is in the center of Rena, but with the world in this state, the entire planet has become its body, right? So doesn't that mean we're already inside it?
I would say that is horrifyingly correct. After all, the further we climb, the denser the astral energy becomes.
What's the matter, Rinwell? Are you not feeling all right?
No, it's nothing like that. It just feels like the energy here is a little more intense than it was before.
You mean Rena's energy?
Yeah, it's like when I made contact with Dana's will in the wedge. It's almost as though I can understand what Rena's will is thinking.
But Rena's will is supposed to be a lot stronger. Aren't we risking the Great Spirit controlling us if we interact with it directly?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Rena's will is only supposed to control true Renans, like the Helganquil. If we can discern what the Great Spirit is thinking too, we might learn something, a weakness. But just to be safe, let me contact it alone.
Are you insane? Rinwell, you're gonna...
Rinwell!
There was only meant to be one world. And your goal is to make them one. Is this fear? What just happened?
Are you all right? Rinwell? Rinwell, are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I think.
What were you thinking? You could have gotten yourself killed!
He's right. You had us all terrified, Rinwell.
I'm sorry. I really am. But I know now. I know how the Great Spirit thinks. I know what it wants, how it feels. Rena's Great Spirit wants to complete the world.
What's that supposed to mean? Are you saying it's trying to make something?
Yes, exactly. Originally, Dana and Rena were meant to be one world. But that never happened. They've stayed separated, and the Great Spirit wants to finish the process.
What do you mean, one world? How is that even possible?
I don't know, but its will is clear. That's what the Great Spirit is trying to accomplish. The only problem is that since Rena's energy isn't evenly spread like Dana's, it seems like it'll vanish before that happens naturally.
So it's trying to absorb Dana while it still can, so that it can force the two planets to unite. Is that what you're saying?
The Great Spirit is scared. But it's not scared the way a rational person would be. It's more raw and undiluted, like just pure fear.
Like an animal, acting out of instinct. Although admittedly, an animal would be easier to communicate with. At the very least, I have my doubts that it recognizes us as sentient beings with a reason for coming here. Earth, water, fire, and wind energy exist in both worlds, but only darkness and light can be found within Rena and Dana, respectively. The Renis Alma, as far as we know, the only host capable of harvesting the astral energy, is composed of all six. Knowing all that, Rinwell's findings do sound plausible.
That sounds a lot like Shion's thorns, doesn't it? The whole reason the Great Spirit is trying to unite Dana and Rena into one world is in order to save itself. And if her thorns are part of the Great Spirit, then they must also be trying to save themselves?
Alphen, what is it?
We thought the only way to free your thorns was for you to die. Yet despite that, they seem to be doing everything in their power to stop that from happening to you. Something wasn't adding up. But then I just realized something. If the Great Spirit doesn't want to die, then neither would your thorns. Those same emotions, that fear, that determination, and its energy must have been the same thing that was keeping you alive. You were its vessel.
In that case, is that why her thorns caused so much pain to anyone who touched her? Because they were trying to protect themselves?
If that's all true, then... well, it's more than a little ironic.
The Great Spirit merely expresses its desires. I imagine it was the Helganquil who were likely tasked with putting together and implementing an actual plan.
Shion.
I'm okay. We need to hurry and clean this mess up before it gets out of hand.
Still, even if the current state of the world is wrong like you said, does that really make everything okay?
If the world had been whole from the start, as it should have been, there'd be no Dana and no Rena, no masters or slaves, no lords, no crown contest, maybe just peace.
To think, all this started because of the Great Spirit's desire to keep living. The only reason it craves energy is because it's dying from starvation. When you think about it like that, maybe the things it's done aren't so strange after all.
If Rena had been more like Dana, things would have worked out a whole lot better.
It's like Hevericht 35 told us. The Danan and Renan spirits are meant to be completely different beings.
Rena's energy amassing in one place led to its developing a powerful will. But that also made it crave energy, sapping Rena dry until it perished.
Whereas Dana's energy is dispersed, meaning its will never developed to the same extent. And without that hunger, Dana the planet was spared.
As for which is correct, well, I'm not sure it's our place to even say. Still, I can't help but think it reminds me a lot of the dichotomy of the human condition.
Dichotomy? What do you mean?
Those who know not satisfaction are driven to keep devouring without limit. But those who are content with their lot in life rarely fulfill their potential. I imagine it's likely that the larger Rena's Great Spirit grew, the more and more powerful its hunger also became.
Everything in moderation. When all's said and done, maybe that's the hardest thing for people to learn.
Wherever we go on this planet, there are machines littered everywhere.
It's impressive to look at as a bystander, but I sure wouldn't want to live here with all of this around.
I know what you mean. There are no fish here. I couldn't cook any of my delicious dinners for you all if we lived here.
Clearly the worst point against it.
A dead end, huh?
Why don't we just use this?
Wait!
Jeez! Don't scare me like that! What, is there something wrong with it?
No, it's not that. It's just, this is it. Whatever it is, we're about to find out.
It's the moment of truth. There's no turning back now till we've won. Either we get through this, or we vanish along with the rest of the world as we know it. Is everyone ready?
We've come this far. I'm not about to turn tail now. I say we knock this thing out and head back home.
It's time to relegate the past to where it belongs. It's been a long journey getting here, but it ends now.
No, this isn't the end. Once we've overthrown the old order, there's still the task of creating a new world.
A world without divisions, where no one cares whether you're Danon or Renan, or if you have magic or not. You're right. We have to win this.
Let's get going then. After all, our future awaits.
Our future, one free of tyranny and exploitation. For the freedom to live with those we hold dear, and for a new era. Let's go! Are we on that giant flower?
We're finally here then.
But then, where is the core of the Great Spirit? Or the Renaissance, for that matter.
According to Hevrek 35, this should be where we find the core.
Rinwell, do you sense anything?
This is definitely where the energy of the Great Spirit is strongest, but what's giving off the most energy is the flower we're standing on.
That said, we're not gonna be able to destroy something this huge. You want me to hit it and see what happens?
Hey, look!
Renaissance!
Is that like Dana's astral energy? But why?
What?
Stay sharp! Something's coming!
spirit's core? And in order to fight us, it's taken on this form?
My thorns. I feel them whirling inside me. They're getting restless. I'm certain of it. This is the source of my thorns and of my visions. This is the darkness that will consume all existence.
What do we do now? The Renaissance inside that thing. And I don't think we'll win this fight without it.
We have to get it back. We will find a way somehow.
Agreed. And now that it has a physical form, cutting through it's what we'll do.
Great Spirit, I understand you want to live. You've made that very clear. However, if you're planning on destroying everything, then first, you'll have to get through us. Everyone, let's go!
We're not energy for you to consume, and we're not puppets for you to control!
Only humankind has a right to determine their own future. We will never let something like you take that away from us.
I'm sorry, but we won't let you take any more away from us. We'll do whatever it takes to stop you.
I fight to close the sounds of anguish from our world, that it may be filled with joy and peace once again.
Give it back. Give it all back. Give us back our world and give me back my own life.
Once and for all, we're going to end centuries of terror and death. Right here, right now.
Bloody howling!
Hurricane Blade, here!
Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade! Breath of life! Heal my weary companion!
Where are you going?
Cure!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malicer!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
After all that, it's still standing. Just how strong is this thing?
It doesn't matter. You just have to keep kicking its ass until it bites the dust!
The Great Spirits!
Damn! Must have been conserving its energy for an escape. That bastard took off with the Renaissance!
We can't stand here and wait for it to come back. We'll have to follow it through there.
You're right. I don't like it, but we've got no choice.
Yeah. No matter what, we can't let it get away.
All right, let's go.
I'm surprised we can stand here at all. What in the hell is this place?
Beats me. I've never seen anything like it. More importantly, where's the Great Spirit?
Look! Over there!
What in the world? It's changing shape?
Oh, this is bad. It looks like it's regaining all of its energy. It's going to grow even bigger than before.
Damn it. Come on, we've got to find a way to...
Watch out! Something's heading our way!
Guess they're here to try to stop us. There's so many of them.
That means we've got it running scared. Let's take these out and keep moving! Look sharp! Lightning Tiger Blade!
going to crash!
We caught up to it.
Hold on. Why did it stop absorbing the energy from Dana?
Like it or not, it lacks the means to do so whilst fighting us. We've become the bigger threat and forced its hand.
All right then. Let's get to work so we can take back the Renaissance.
And this time, we really mean it!
We've all come so far. We've faced so much. We can get through this. Together.
Naturally, we are all leaving this fight alive.
Hell, I'm just getting warmed up. You ain't seen nothing yet.
The Great Spirit's getting desperate. So stay on your toes, everyone.
Armor won't save you.
No further.
This one's mine.
Its power is overwhelming.
Then let's do it!
From here on out.
We did it!
Yeah.
Piercing Varna!
Amazing! All that astral energy!
I don't like the look of this.
We have to stop it! And fast!
Glacial Spear!
Sword Rain
Fierce
Alpha!
Evil! Glacial Fire! Freeze Lancer!
Take
Tiger
this
Blade!
one's all mine! Burn in hell!
Mega Ray!
Piercing Roar!
No more dithering!
Our future begins here!
Always impressive.
I guess that makes two of us then.
The flame inside me! Now all that's left is the middle!
Let's do it! Radiant
Sword Rain Alpha!
Watch and sweep!
Take this!
Annihilation! Mega Ray!
You picked the wrong fight!
Hurricane
Sword Rain
Fire!
Alpha! Sword Rain Alpha! Try harder!
Glacial Spear! Fierce Evil!
Try harder!
Instinct Shock! Here, let me help! This is it!
This ends now!
Alphen!
Yeah! We're both fine. We're going to start the ceremony now, before it can recover. Shion.
Yeah.
Returned, just as I told you I would.
hand it over right now. You plan to use this to defeat the Great Spirit. Which is precisely why I'm here. Stand aside and watch. So then you know how to destroy the Great Spirit. Just as well as you and your sorry lot. The Great Spirit that tried to control me will be annihilated. I won't let you do that! Yet do it I shall. And there's nothing you can do to stop me. You bastard! I shall fulfill my duty as a ruler. With this power, I'll bury that woman and the Great Spirit. Then this charade will finally end. Save everyone. And Sion! Silence. I'll tear you apart, slay the girl and the Great Spirit, and erect a fortress of death over both worlds. What do you get from all this? When you have all that power, what will you do? My dominion shall reign over all existence. You control others to keep from being controlled. But that's a path of never-ending hatred! Don't you understand? It can only end in destruction. The only way to avoid it is with forgiveness! The words of a coward! The weakness disgusts me! You're wrong. It takes true power to forgive! I have no use for forgiveness. The strong shall always triumph here. It's over! You are the last obstacle impeding my progress. Die! That's my line! I'll show you the limits of your solitude! What you've done is evil. There's no denying that. I know you didn't walk your path out of weakness, but merely from misguided strength. Misguided because you were alone. Because you had no friends to keep you on the straight and narrow. No one to use all that strength for, other than yourself. That loneliness could make a monster out of anyone. Out of me. I understand. And I forgive you, Volrun. I don't need your victor's pity. And you can choke on your vain forgiveness. Don't! You wish to save this world? To make your selfish dreams into reality? If you choose to walk that path, you choose a path of betrayal, despair, and corruption. And in the darkness at the end, I'll be waiting for you! Volrun! The Renis Alma is...
Yes. But you still possess the blazing sword. It may not be quite as strong as the Renis Alma, but nonetheless...
I can't! I would never! It would kill you!
My thorns, they're... Soon the great astral spirit will break free. And when that happens, no one will be spared. But there's still time. You can still destroy the thorns. And me with them.
That's exactly what we've been fighting to prevent. I promised I would find a way to save you.
You did. I know. But I don't want you to die either. So please, don't let me be the end of the world.
That's it. Look! The path Dana's energy flowed through is still open. We can use it to call out to Dana's will!
Alphen, what are you saying?
Don't you remember? Rinwell said there was a little bit of Dana's will inside all of us. If there is a way everyone can come together to form Dana's will, then maybe we can ask for it to help us, to find us a way out of this.
Are you really saying that if all of Dana thinks of saving us, it will become the will of the planet itself? That's madness.
Maybe so, but it's the only way we can save you. And the only way to save Rena, too.
To save Rena?
That's right. Rena's will never had evil intent. If we're saving everyone, that includes them. I don't want to live in a world without you, Shion. And I'm tired of living a life built on death.
Alphen, I'm with you.
Collective will of Dana, hear my plea! I want to save Shion! And I want to save Rena too! I want to end this cycle of one joy, constantly being sacrificed for another's pain! So please, grant us your strength! Let's go!
테일즈 오브 어라이즈 영상은 여기까지입니다. 이 게임은 스토리도 괜찮고 게임도 재밌었습니다. 64,000원 하는 게임이 이 정도면 꽤 괜찮은 게임이라고 생각합니다. 비싸다고 생각하시면 할인할 때라도 꼭 한번 플레이해보시면 좋을 것 같습니다. 재밌게 시청하셨다면 쭌브로 좋아요, 구독 부탁드립니다. 감사합니다.